Are you recognizing a pattern here? The media owns you. They tell you how to think and how to feel.
But we know this. No matter what they tell you, it has very little to do with black lives, if only it did. If Democratic leaders cared about saving the lives of black people, and they should, they wouldn't ignore the murder of thousands of young black men in their cities every year. They wouldn't put abortion clinics in black neighborhoods.
If you really cared about brown and black lives, you would bring down Planned Parenthood.
Now, I want to take this moment to really talk about this fake news narrative. Right? There is some truth into that. That today our news is ran by corporations. And before, in the time of Walter Cronkite, news was a public service. It was something that broadcasters had to do as a public service. They had to disseminate the news to tell people what was going on. And in that time, they had something called the Fairness Doctrine. The Fairness Doctrine made it so that we could not have a Fox News and a MSNBC, a liberal and a conservative news channel. They both always had to exist on the very same channel. Both positions had to be discussed because they were equal. They needed to both be heard. But here today, you have these right-wing individuals, such as the Good Patriot, who will demonize other people simply because they're on the left. And what they do is that they other them so that they can dehumanize them. They can talk about them as if they're not people.
This is a tragic death used by the higher-ups to bring destruction and division, and you were falling right into it.
And it is something that I hope for the Black Americans that are watching will stick with you for the rest of your life. Shelby Steele said that the Black community is unique from other communities. Our culture is unique from other communities because we are the only community that caters to the bottom denominator of our society. Now, let me explain what that means. It means to say that not every Black American is a criminal, not every Black American is committing crimes, but we are unique in that we are the only people that fight and scream and demand support and justice for the people in our community that are up to no good. You will be hard-pressed to find this in white America. You will be hard-pressed to find this in white America. You will be hard-pressed to find this in white America. You will be hard-pressed to find this in white America. You will be hard-pressed to find this in white America. You will be hard.
This is a tragic death used by the higher-ups to bring destruction and division, and you were falling right into it.
Now, she is supposed to be, supposedly talking to the Black community. Now, we know definitely she's not. She's talking directly to her friends. But she's basically telling her friends what's happening because they're the ones being programmed with fear, anger, and hatred, as you just saw in that video of these All Lives Matter protesters kneeling on another human being and saying, this is what George Floyd gets. This is what he gets. Like, they were Trump supporters. The higher-ups that she's talking about, that is programming them, the media that she's talking about that's programming them, that's all what's happening in Fox News with the All Lives Matter. That's all what's happening with Trump, who is cheerleading this fear and this hatred. And in their cheering this fear and this hatred, 2 men lost their jobs. Most likely will lose so much more as their names are now out there in the media. Their families are affected. Their children are affected. These men's lives are effectively destroyed because of white supremacy. They're destroyed because of what this woman just said, that they're being programmed to hate. And you can see this in the intellectual dishonesty of Candace Owens, who got her black face up there to say that it is only the black community that would defend people who are up to no good in the community. I could swear Trump defended Nazis. Now, of course, they're going to say that he said something else the next day, but we don't fall for that monkey bullshit. We just saw these men defending the police officer who kneeled on Mr. Floyd and killed him. Those are all examples of the white community, Miss Owens.